Real estate doesn't crash, and I wish people would stop saying that because it doesn't make sense and it's not true. It's never been true, and I'm gonna show you why. Right now, housing prices are very insane and very ghetto. We all know that. But I'm gonna tell you why I'm still looking for homes right now in this ridiculous time, and maybe why you can consider it too if you're kind of on the fence of whether or not you should be looking for a home. So let's get into it. All right, so why do I say real estate doesn't crash? When you think of crash, what comes to mind? Car crash, computer crashing. Okay, what those two things are instant. They happen like that. 1 minute you're fine, next minute boom. Okay, never in real estate's history has that ever happened. Crashes in the real estate sense has always been some sort of slow kind of gradual thing. Using 2008 as an example, when that 07-08 crisis happened, it took 4 to 5 years for it to actually bottom. It bottomed in Q1 of 2012. Okay, so for someone like me who's been hearing we're gonna crash for so long and seeing nothing, it's kind of disappointing. And that's why I want to kind of change the mentality of what crashing means, because we're used to crashing being instant, and then we start feeling lethargic when we see we're waiting for years and real estate is not crashing. I do think there is quite a possibility to get really, really good prices on homes for the low, but it might take some years. Here are some reasons why I am still looking for a house no matter what happens in the housing market. With the number one reason obviously being what I just mentioned. It might be years, right? It might be years before we actually see a crash. By then, I'm hoping that I'm making more money every single year, so I'll be able to take advantage of the crash again from more of an investor standpoint, right? Because things should be going on nice deep discounts, and in the next maybe 4 years, if we're using the last crisis as a gauge, maybe in the next 4 years, I can get my nest egg built up again and I can go ahead and reinvest. If you are in the real estate market like I am and you're realizing that you're getting outbid by like sometimes $100,000, just sit tight. Do not get crazy like these people, okay? I'm sticking to my budget. I don't care. If it means I have to stay renting for another year or so, so be it. I am making active offers, but the offers are always going to be within my price range. Don't start acting radical like these people are, right? They're the reasons why the market is going up. If everybody starts having that mentality where they're like, I'm not about to overspend, I'm not about to offer 40,000 over asking, 100 over asking, then the price they're going to have to correct. Everybody is fearful right now, which is why they're driving prices up, because they're in such a panic to buy stuff. I never do things in panic. I'm always calm. Anything that I'm supposed to get is going to happen calmly and in line with how it's supposed to happen. I don't have to act wild. Another reason why I'm still looking right now is because not all markets are impacted the same way when there are corrections in the real estate market. There are some cities that are called linear cities, and there's other cities that are called cyclical cities, okay? In mostly coastal areas, right? You think New York, Miami, California, they're much more heavily impacted by changes in the economy, okay? So if you are looking in those areas, there is a chance that you might be able to get a deal later on. But again, nothing in this life is guaranteed, okay? Because weird things keep on happening every year. If you are in cities that are not as sensitive to it, maybe in more rural areas, then it doesn't necessarily matter. You're not gonna get like a huge discount, more or less, right? When things do take a turn. So it might make sense for you to still keep on looking right now. And you'll know what kind of market you're in based on how home prices have climbed. Like where I'm at, I've seen homes go up by $200,000 to $300,000, okay? Like from now compared to like maybe this time 2-3 years ago, dramatic increases. Also, let me share another reason why I don't think real estate really crashes outside of the actual definition of a crash, right? It's not an instant. But also look at this home chart, okay? What you'll notice is that even though there are peaks and valleys, the trend is still upward. The trend is upward because of the way our financial system is set up, okay? In order for us to keep on having money, making more money has to be loaned into existence. With homes a lot of times being debt products, right? You're getting a mortgage in most cases. Yes, people are cash buyers, but there are more mortgage buyers than there are cash buyers, okay? So mortgage is debt. When people want to get homes, they have to go into debt. Debt creates more money, and more of that money is flowing through the system. So yes, there are times where there's going to be, corrections and downturns, but it's still trending upward. So if you're somebody who's not trying to sell your home ever, or maybe in the super short term, then it wouldn't necessarily matter. It might be a shot to your pride, right? Because I would definitely hate to go buy a house at 400,000 and then 4 years from now it's worth 250, right? That wouldn't feel good. But if I'm not going to sell it, that doesn't really matter, right? That only matters when I am trying to sell it. But if I don't really plan on selling any of my properties, right? At the most case, I'm going to rent it out. And if you're somebody who feels that same way, you want to hold on to all your assets and you might just rent it out instead, when you are searching for homes, what you need to do is calculate the entire cost of the home: mortgage, property taxes, home insurance, any of those little things you can think of, okay? And when you come up with that amount, that is the amount that you need to see if you can get in rent, right? So what I'm doing right now, let's say I'm looking for a home and it's like $400,000 and the mortgage, property taxes and interest would cost $2,300. I'm going to then go on Zillow or go wherever, look for rentals in that same exact area and see what homes are being rented for in that area. That way I know from when I buy it, right? Because you make money on the buy, not the sell. And as you can see here, if our payments are going to be $2,300, this is not going to be a good deal because most rents don't go up to that much. When I am buying it, I already know immediately if I buy it and then I have to leave the next day, I can rent it out and get everything covered. So that's what I'm looking for. Rents in most cases do not decrease. Obviously, we saw during COVID, rents did decrease, but that was kind of like a dramatic situation, right? In times of economic turmoil, rents actually might increase because a lot of people are getting kicked out of their homes, which is driving up the demand for the rental market. Another reason why I'm still looking for homes in this crazy market is because landlords have lost their mind, okay? And I can't wait to become a large-scale landlord because I am not going to be taking advantage of people like this. People in my family were landlords and they did things the way I consider the right thing to do, okay? So you rent in, they took good care of you, but the rents was not going up, okay? The rent stayed the same until that person moved out. If that person moves out, then they'll, maybe make some light refurbishments and update the property and then charge market value and start all over again. There's no need to be greedy. If you already priced your rental property properly, then leave the rents the same, okay? There might be certain situations where you have to increase it, but most people are increasing it right now because they just want more money. They're greedy. Maybe they have investors they need to keep happy. Because of that, who knows what's going to happen in rents? I have heard multiple times from people that I know personally that their rent has gone up by $300, $400, even $500, okay? So they're going to go renew their lease and the landlord's like, yeah, I'm gonna need $500 more. A month? Are you crazy? Of course, when you have your mortgage, your property taxes can go up, but at least the actual mortgage is the same. And like I mentioned, if you want to get out of there, then you can charge rent, right? You can move out and get it rented out and then cover the payments. So there's different options you have. If you are a renter, it's either take it or leave it, right? If you don't like it, oh well. Another thing, if you can find a house that's going to be around the same amount of money you pay for rent, why not do it, right? Like for me, I'm gonna go maybe up a couple hundred, right? Because think about it this way. When you have your mortgage, a piece of your mortgage is going back into the house and the other piece of the mortgage is going into the interest, okay? So that piece is going back into the house, right? That's paying down the actual value of the house. That's kind of like a forced savings, okay? So I'm okay with going a little bit higher than what I pay for rent because I'm also saving money by paying down my mortgage. When you're paying rent, all that money goes directly into your landlord's pockets. When you're paying your mortgage, a portion of that goes right back into the home that you are going to eventually own when you pay off your mortgage. And as long as you're in a situation where you're not upside down on your loan, then that's an actual forced savings. I plan on making the majority of my real estate investments. So again, like I said, I'm not worried about it because I'm not selling any of my properties. And if you want to know why I consider real estate a good investment, click this video and I will see you over there.